Okay, recording in progress.
You heard that one, didn't you?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees for November 28th, 2022. Hope everyone had a happy, healthy Thanksgiving and that you're off the turkey coma by now. First order of business this evening is to pledge allegiance to the American flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, do we have any alterations to our agenda this evening, or?
Me.
No, I got a couple of things under any other necessary business, but one for signage. But we'll get to that later. Public comment. We don't have any. Do we have anybody zooming?
No.
No zoomers. So we're not gonna have much for public comment this evening. Item number 5 on the agenda, approve and accept the minutes from our Monday, November 14th, 2022 meeting. What's your pleasure on the minutes?
We approve them as printed.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve and accept the minutes as printed. Any discussion?
No.
If not,
Long minutes, and we're good.
all those in favor of approving and accepting the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No opposition. The motion's carried unanimously. Item number 6, approve and accept the village warrants through Wednesday, November 23rd, 2022. What's your pleasure on the warrants?
I move that they be approved.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve and accept the warrants. Any questions on the warrants?
This one. Number 109. 85988 PC construction.
That is the repairs to the concrete on tail race of number 5.
Oh, okay, yep.
That was part of the PME.
Yep, we talked about that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
No.
If not, all those in favor of approving and accepting the warrants, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no opposition, the motion is carried unanimously. Item number 7, Swanton Village Police Department update. We have our chief, Matt Tolman, here. He's gonna give us a briefing.
So although we're almost through with November, this is the October update, because we pushed it off from the beginning of the month. So you'll find 2 packets of information in front of you. One for the village itself and one for the town and village, so you see what the officers are doing. For the village, in October, we had 100 incidents the officers responded to, pages 1 through 3. The top 10 incident types were 13 suspicious person incidents, 9 community outreach, 8 traffic stops, 8 agency assists, 7 motor vehicle complaints, 6 foot patrols, 5 found property, 5 trespassing, 5 citizen disputes, and 4 thefts. Page 4 is the summary of the traffic stops. There were 4 tickets issued and 8 warnings. And then pages 5 through 6, you'll see are the arrests. There were 7 charges. They call it arrests in the Valcourt printout, but it's actually charges. Looking at the town and village combined, the city officers responded to 194 incidents. Out of those incidents, the top 10 call types were 20 suspicious people, 20 agency assists, 20 traffic stops, 16 community outreach, 14 motor vehicle complaints, 7 citizen assists, 7 juvenile problems, 7 foot patrols, 7 thefts, and 6 citizen disputes. On page 6 of that packet is the traffic stop summary. Again, 19 traffic stops, 14 tickets, 11 warnings, and the numbers won't necessarily add up because officers may be issuing multiple warnings or tickets for an individual traffic stop. And then pages 7 through 8 of that packet are the arrests or charges. There were 8 people charged, or 8 charges, I should say. Again, one individual may receive multiple charges depending on the incident.
Was there a foot patrol done in the town?
That I am not sure about. It would probably be rare. I would have to break that out and search the town individually because this is the combined data, so it's possible. Interesting, 6, yeah.
I also,
Yeah, 7, so you would think that there may be one. It might be up at the high school, because the high school may be flagged as the town, depending on how it's flagged in the Valor system.
Right.
another suspicious person keeps showing up. Is it the same person?
It's a catch-all category, so if somebody calls in and they're not really sure what they're seeing and they just feel like it's suspicious, it'll be flagged as a suspicious incident, so it is a catch-all. And it would require actually going into each incident and really taking a look and see. But it's not necessarily, one individual or multiple individuals where they're just acting suspiciously. Could be a number of different things.
I have done, I'll study it.
So 65 on Robin Hood. How in the name of all that's holy that ever happens?
65.
I think that was associated with the eluding charge. So there was a pursuit that went up Robin Hood, and then my understanding is up Frontage Road and ended in the sand pits. So,
Okay.
I believe that's what that was associated with.
Wow. Anything stick out?
Well, we have been very busy, this month. There's been 2 robberies, in November, again, jumping ahead to November. And one at the Sunoco, where we have some leads, I think some pretty good leads. It's just a matter of establishing probable cause to arrest somebody. And then there was another robbery at the Shell station here in Jolly, right on First Street. So we also have some good leads in that one also, and that's the same individual that also robbed Holding Mart in St. Albans.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know some people were upset.
yeah, understandably so. Really,
Yeah,
it's just a matter of, figuring it out and and continuing to gather information and again establish probable cause to make the test.
Okay. Any other questions?
I just had one quick question. Anything more ever come from the last summer incident on First Street with the drugs and the shooting and everything? Any more information ever come back?
So that is still being actively investigated by the Vermont State Police. I spoke with the investigator probably, I want to say a week and a half ago. It was shortly before the holidays, and they are moving forward with that case and making a great deal of progress. So
Oh, cool.
I think you'll see the federal court system takes a little longer because it is in federal court. And it is a secret proceeding, so that's why you're not really hearing much about it, but they are making a great deal of progress in that case. I think it's a very simple case.
And they do keep you in the loop, or you have to chase them, but
Yes, occasionally he reached out to me to let me know and just call on some loose ends, but
that's good. One person keeps just saying, how can that happen in our town? Well, I said, it happens everywhere and they'll get them.
well, it's similar. My experience has been that most of these higher level incidents, if you want to call them that, are and even these robberies are usually associated with drug activity. Either the person suffers from substance use disorder, and so they just need money to get that fixed. And so that's been my experience. And the other addresses around the village and town that we're aware of, it's similar activity. It's all in the same stuff. And it was the same thing we saw in Burlington. It's pretty consistent throughout the rest of the state also.
Thanks.
Anything else? Matt, just, or chief, as you know, this was small business Saturday, this past Saturday. And I went roaming around downtown, some of the smaller business, and, some of the newer people downtown said they'd like to meet some of the police officers to try to catch up, you know, just to know who we have on the force. So if you have some people roaming around down there, some of the newer businesses, would like to meet up with you guys. Okay, so. It's not, and it's not a complaint, it's just a little info, so, yeah. Okay. Guess that's it for police report. Thank you, chief. Item number 8, discuss and approve purchasing of a new truck for hydro and maintenance.
So Lynn can add some color to this, but it's not a new truck, it'd be a used truck.
Yeah.
So we have one hand-me-down that, so the electric car they've been using for running back and forth to the dam site, from the main plant to the dam site, rather than using their own personal vehicles. So that's been nice. They put over 400 miles on it this summer, since they've had it. So now, in the wintertime, they're using the white pickup truck, which is a hand-me-down from the water plant. And they're using that one going back and forth to the hydro plant. But then with 2 maintenance people, there's only leaves 1 truck. So many times that when there's maintenance to do, one goes to one plant, one goes to the other. Now they don't have that ability. And this truck they're looking at, it actually has a plow on it. So there's 2 people that are working at the hydro that know how to plow. They do that on the side. So it could actually relieve a lot of the wait time for our public works to drive all the way up there to Highgate and plow that Baker Road.
Mhm.
So they're just asking for the ability to purchase that this year. And I'll let Lynn add the color on the money.
They had originally wanted to put it in the budget for next year. And Dan started looking for a used, what he wants is another truck like the other Ford that we've got, the black Ford. And he got looking just to see what was out there. And he stumbled upon this truck. I don't remember what dealership it's at.
It was at the Moore in St. Albans.
And he stumbled upon that truck and it was exactly what he was looking for. The other thing that I can add to that is this truck will also be used to haul, like when they pulled the leaves and stuff with the trash rake, the only vehicle they've got right now that can pull that without coming down here and getting a truck is the black Ford. But if that's being used on maintenance, you know, they'd have to be jockeying it around. So they felt that that'd be another use. That's why they wanted a heavier duty truck. And this will, you know, it'll last them because they're not going to put a lot of miles on it. Dan was originally hoping that one of the other departments was giving up one of their pickups and that he could get a hand-me-down, but none of them are thinking about a truck for next year. So that's why before that one gets sold, we're bringing it to do this year versus next year.
And it's a single cab, I think 2018.
Yeah, it's not that old.
2018, 34,000 miles on it for the plow on it.
Yeah, it's a 3/4 ton. He was originally looking at a 1/2 ton and I'm like, oh, is that gonna be heavy duty enough? You know, pulling the trailer full of debris. So he happened to find one that was a 3/4 ton.
Better for plowing.
Yeah. And that would relieve a lot of
2010,
pressure. Yeah, the 2010. Okay,
Yeah.
even better.
2,500 4-wheel drive.
Is it really a 2010?
Yeah.
That's what it says.
It said that in the literature that you sent. Somebody just said 18.
I thought it was an 18.
No, well, I just looked it up to see what.
It's, I believe Dan said it was old, it wasn't used a lot, like it was basically for cleaning debris at the person's yard and stuff. I mean, if it's only got 34,000 on it, then
65.
65.
Yeah.
See, don't even ask me what the thing is about that truck. I'm all wrong tonight. I don't know. What's the matter with me? You know, I'm sorry.
It's got a 6-liter V8, so it's plenty heavier.
I'm just gonna shut up the rest of the meeting.
And so did they reach out on the price, or is that the listed price what they're going with, or
I think so, yeah.
Is that, how much was it, 19?
I'm not even gonna say.
18?
Yeah,
17,995.
we had told Dan, I believe, to stay under 30.
Yeah.
Which budget is it coming out of?
Almost 20 grand.
It's electric department,
Okay,
because it's up at the hydro
I
plant.
wanted to get that on the table.
Oh, yeah, that, like Chris just said, that I scrolled down a little farther, the total is 19,385.
But there'll be less than that, 'cause I think they.
Well,
have
that's
tax on
sales
there.
tax, and we will be tax exempt,
Yeah,
so it'll be the list. It'll be
pretty
the,
close to what the list price was.
yeah.
And where are you gonna get a plow truck for 20 grand?
I mean, they obviously aren't gonna, they're gonna have to be careful doing Baker Road, because we do use the 1 ton on that. And I know in certain road conditions, that 1 ton's taking a ride. So it's more like to clean up, you know, after they go through the 1 ton, kind of like opening up the parking lot a little bit and. Up at the dam site.
That
opening that
electric
up.
vehicle won't handle a plow. Can't put chains on a plow on that electric.
That I can answer.
Wonder if Phil Scott would come up and plow for us with that electric pickup is,
That'd be cool.
so,
That'd be fun.
yeah. Okay, so
Need a motion?
I think so.
I'll make. Chris,
Go ahead.
make a motion that we purchase the suggested truck.
And I'll second it.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to purchase the 2010 Silverado for more cars. Over the asking price. Or if you can get it for less, it'd be good too, but anyway. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion's carried unanimously. So. We're all set to go.
And he did have a bunch of quotes from a bunch of other dealers, and he did a comparison, and this is the closest that,
Looks pretty clean from the picture, of course.
Justin climbed underneath it, and he said it's clean.
Yeah.
It's been undercoated, and
So,
pretty solid.
okay. Great. Item number 9, discussion on ARPA funds to be used for local businesses. Is that what I was talking to you about?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'll start this off unless somebody else wants to.
I can tee it up, and then you could add some color, I guess, that the conversation that we had about. Use of some of the ARPA funds. I know there's been conversation with the town also about, helping the merchants with. I don't want to say not beautifying, but dressing up their street fronts, their facades and stuff. If they wanted to upgrade their signage, that kind of stuff. So you had mentioned that there was one downtown that just got in here. That was asking if there was an opportunity with ARPA funds to help them with their signage. And I think, if we did something like that, we would have to offer something universal.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like, you have a stipend and they bring the design or whatever to you, what they're going to use it for, up to an X amount of money. And you go from there. I mean, I think. Trying to dress up the storefronts, helping the merchants out with that type of stuff, I think it's a good use for some ARPA funds, but then you have to be equitable too. So we'll have to figure out what that would look like. So you're not singling one person out over the other.
Yeah, to add to that, we've got some excitement downtown Swanton, some more excitement downtown Swanton. And I was reading in the Messenger that the St. Albans City Council had put in some money. I'm not, like Reggie says, we'll have to specify an amount up to or whatever, but they were paying for signage in the stores. The new businesses that come in to help them out a little bit. pay for the sign or so much towards the sign. So I suggested this to one of the groups, the new groups downtown. And so we're trying to run with it and see if we can help them out, because Merchants Row is more alive than it's been for years down there. And I like that. Get some sort of permanency in there and help them out. But like Reg says, we don't want to just key in on one or a couple. We've got to have to operate to everyone down there.
Yeah, not necessarily Merchants Row, but to the area businesses.
Yeah. So that-
Draft some sort of guideline and.
That was in the
And up- and
rules
up
of
to-
how we're allowed to inspect.
I did ask for clarification, and that is an acceptable expense.
And we do have an invoice for a request on one business down there, so. I just want to try to get this started and keep the ball rolling.
Well, we gotta spend it eventually.
Yeah, yeah. And this is.
But the village thing should be a priority.
I'm sorry. What was that?
The village's businesses,
Well, no, the village, the ARPA funds we can use for various things within our normal jurisdiction.
yes, within the village, yes.
Yeah, so those things, I mean, if we put money towards a bridge or a park or, various other things, I want that to happen. Make sure that gets taken care of first.
Yeah.
But this sounds good. I mean, we're certainly pro-business.
So, I mean, do we discuss expenditure limit, or do we?
I think we
Discuss.
should have a limit so that everybody's knows they can only get
5%.
reimbursed up to.
And
Why don't we see what people want, what that would cost? Bounce that up against the money. Then make the limit.
Well, the request that we have right now is for about $400. That's pretty reasonable
That's
for a
pretty
sign.
cheap. That's pretty cheap.
So if we could start at that, because these people are waiting to see what we're gonna decide, and there's no reason we can't approve or disapprove it tonight. And if somebody else comes, like the neighbors down there come to us with a revised sign, we'll talk about that then. So,
Or let's say they want to do some lighting, or let's say they want to do, whatever, up to, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500.
yeah, that's another thing that the Reg keyed me in on. We had a request for some outlets in the fronts of the stores to put Christmas decoration, because there's no outlets on Merchants Row. There's one at the old Rexall store, but it's inactive. And what they're looking for is an outlet like on the front of each storefront. Or on the front of each block of each piece of property, like one for Vision Nutrition, one for Divine Treasures, one for but we could tap off of run conduit off of the LED lights underneath, put a outlet on the face, and they can put either light their sign up, or which they can't now, or put Christmas decorations. A chamber member wanted to put Christmas decorations, garlands around the stores, but there was no power there, so that's something else that we could use that for.
Are you talking the columns in front or where the windows are along the front of the business?
The outside, not underneath, outside, on the face of the columns.
Okay, yeah.
That's what they were talking about, because they'd seen it in another community.
Yep.
Have
Like it's a great idea.
A lighted garland, tack it to the outside, like picture frame in each business, but there's no electricity out front. So,
so in
and
that case.
Dwayne was gonna check with Mr. Rainville, the electrician, to see what it would take to tap off of those lights underneath, put an outlet on the front of the stores, so. That's another could be done.
And
It's
just
a great idea.
110.
Yeah. So. So if you wanna make a motion. To say that we're gonna plan to, we can subsidize one line at this point and see if anybody else comes through later.
Yep, I'll make the motion that we use ARPA funds to subsidize the one application for signage, up to $500.
Okay, good,
I'll second the motion.
second. Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. To go for, well, Adam's motion. And this will be the starting of it, and helping the merchants out downtown, so. Any more discussion? We already had the discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carried. Okay, thank you. You have anything else on? No,
I don't have
Sure.
any, yeah, well, just to introduce. Again, the new village manager started today.
Yeah.
Well, she's called him Matt a couple times, sorry, Matt.
I'll take it.
I think, I told us, I think it's the cop thing, I don't know, I'm so used to Matt, took me a long time, I almost called him Matt David a few times. So I just get confused with names, you just need to have things and it's.
that comes with age, Reg.
It's, I'm feeling something, I don't know what it is, but.
Sounds like you're going on vacation.
Retirement.
Probably retirement.
So,
Yeah,
yeah, we all like to welcome Bill. He's here pretty regular now, so, and I know it's a long drive from his place here, but, it's shorter than Montpelier was from Colchester.
Great,
But welcome aboard, Bill.
thank you. Glad to be here.
So,
we got him put up in the auditorium here until December 31st, and then we swap places.
Yep.
Told him I'm not touching the mess in there, he's gonna have to organize it.
okay, anybody else have any other necessary business?
Yes,
Yes,
a few weeks ago. People from the community came in and wanted to fund some beautification projects in the town or in the village or both.
Yeah.
And I was wondering how we wanted to handle that, if we wanted to handle it at all. I have a suggestion or two, which will start and maybe a discussion. I think that this should be, if we want to go ahead with it, it should be a separate item in our warning. I believe that there are two ways to approach it. Their proposal envisioned, I was trying to find the paperwork, 5 or 6 years of a program that they had in mind. And would you, if we do put it in the warrant, do you want to put it in for every year for the next 4 or 5 years? Or you want to put it in once and cover all the years with one vote? Go from there. Pick it apart. Do you want to do it at all?
yeah, that's part of the discussion too.
Yeah, that was the first part.
That's theirs is, if I remember right, and I might be a little off here, but theirs is a two-tiered approach. They've got the 5,000 per year, plus they want to hire through the rec department or whatever, a botanist to oversee that. So there's two legs to that. So, and I don't think we should be the only ones to make that decision, not the board. I haven't heard if the town has made a decision on that or not. They were gonna present it to the town the following week after they met with us, I think.
Yeah, that is a good question. And should this be a town project or a town and village project? I don't know the answer to that either.
if we're using ARPA funds, if that's the thought process. If that's the thought process, then it probably would be one or the other.
I just, excuse me, I
If they
didn't
say
think,
the town, that is us too, I think.
Oh, I
yes, it
agree.
is.
For everything that we've done in the past. As being part of the town, I mean. If
I have a
there's
question.
no other single stipulations, I think it should be a town. Piece, which includes input from the village.
Agreed. I didn't really get clear whether we want to use ARPA funds or to use money raised by taxes. If they wanted to put it as part of our parks, which I think they wanted to do, that would come from taxes, would it not?
Yeah. Yeah,
Therefore, I guess it needs to be brought out and we should make a decision of what road we want to take.
Question has to be answered whether we can use ARPA funds for what they want to do too. Do we know that we can do that?
I have to ask regional planning. So Kathy and Malloy, if that's acceptable. This is the email that was sent with that list of requests.
And that was, when was that, about 8 weeks ago?
That was
Maybe too.
9/27.
So I bring it up so that it's not left hanging out there with no action.
Yep.
But you bring a good point up, Gene. I mean, I think it's a good point. Whether to approve that step up allotment all in a lump sum or every year. Because if for some unfortunate reason it doesn't work and we committed to 5 years, where's that gonna go with it? Doesn't happen, right?
So
So we could possibly re-up it every year instead of the 5 up front.
it may be a little safer that way. Yes, maybe a lot safer that way.
That's a good point.
But that's good that you brought it up. There's more discussion has to be made on this and clarification, so.
Well, we'll need it within the next couple of months because by January 20th or something, I don't know the exact date, we have to have our warning ready.
Yeah,
And time to think about that is maybe past already.
okay.
Okay.
Put that on the agenda for the next meeting.
I'll forward this email to you guys too, just for refreshment.
I still have it.
And we should
Go ahead, forward it.
touch base with Brian about this so that he's not.
Well, we're supposed to have another joint meeting with them, right, in December to talk about the website thing.
Yeah,
I took up a lot of time, sorry.
No,
okay. Anybody else have any? You have another one, Gene?
No, I'm done, thank you. Okay.
Chris?
Now,
Well, a couple of quick things. One, the big thing is. Lynn sent us a pretty good synopsis of how we're doing financially for the last month, and I spoke with her again tonight about it too. And we're pretty stable, but looking forward into 2023 and maybe even begin of 2024, it looks like slim pickings. So I wondered if we ought to at least think about being very careful with our capital expenditures.
so slim pickings as in,
I think we do that anyway, but I just think the public ought to know that we're being careful. I know we just spent 20 grand on a truck, but that looks like it pays dividends, so. But just something to think about. My next thing I wanted to think about was, or mention was the Christmas decorations look pretty good. They'll look nicer with some snow, but they look good, and that we purchased those last year, a lot of those,
The ones on the poles,
yeah,
yeah, a few years ago. About
2 years ago.
Probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a few years now.
They've held up good.
Well, they look good, and the Christmas tree looks nice too, all lit up on the bandstand. Very good, and I understand the Christmas party went very well on the park too.
Sure did.
Yep.
Sure did.
And I mean, it's so nice to be using the park in that way. On kind of a, regular basis. And the last thing I wanted to do, just as a thought. We haven't had a group picture. Before we break up the band. We need a group picture. And I thought maybe we could even wear ties and look good. Under the sign.
You're presuming that if we put a tie on, we'll look better?
That's a misconception.
Just a headshot.
Just a thought.
I would like to have a picture with you folks before I leave.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I
Thank
really
you.
think we haven't done that in a long, long time.
Yeah.
We need,
Good idea. That's a
Diane,
good
and
idea.
Lynn, and everybody in it.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And with that being said, you said,
I'm done.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
with
Mr.
that being said, talking about pictures. I just happened to need your attention for a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. The trustees and I collaborated on this. Adam gave us the lead. And you just wait. Oh my goodness.
I do that.
Pretty much.
That's right, eh?
Mr. Bellamo, we heard that you had a little corner in your house where you're gonna hide after your retirement.
And rock myself like a baby, yes.
So, the trustees and I thought we might help you decorate that corner. And so on camera, we want everybody to witness this. We're gonna open a new business in Swanton, and I think the Bellavos will invite everyone, so. Open your present, Mr. Bellavo.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Right, back.
And on a little more serious note, we appreciate the 12 years you've been with us,
Absolutely.
and don't go away too soon.
Yeah, I'm not planning on it.
Don't get to destroy the rabbit. Is that recyclable?
That would be.
I'll put silver on it.
What's it?
Hey, you can make me work for it. I see it, I see it. Ha ha ha. Is this for public?
You can.
Yeah,
Up to you.
Absolutely.
It's too late now, it's on camera.
We hear, Cal, that Reggie has his own little corner of his house. We're gonna label his corner,
And that's the year my wife and I were married, 1989.
so.
That's sweet. I really appreciate this, guys. I swear.
Don't swear.
Well done. I just can't tell you. Thank you.
And
Great idea, though. Love it.
Bill's gonna be the bartender.
That works. I was telling Bill, I said, I'm not a good recipient of gifts because I feel that, yeah, I get my pleasures out of working for you folks. And, my pleasures of working for the employees and stuff. So this is humbling.
Yeah.
And I appreciate this. That was great, right? Thank you. So.
Okay. So that's all I have under any other necessary business. Adam?
Just a couple things. Just want to remind everybody, the winter parking ban starts Thursday in the village.
Reg, can we have the public works grab the 3 picnic tables out of the park and just stick them over? I don't care if they get snowed on or not, just to get rid of them.
By the chamber,
Huh?
put it by the chamber,
Can we put up, do we have room in the lean-to?
won't be in the lean-to, we can put them, we'll put it somewhere.
You'll never see them again.
We did have a successful Christmas in the park, as Neil had said, so I want to shout out kudos to the chamber and the crew that ran the event. It's a lot of work sometimes, but it's a lot of fun at the same time, so, you know, shout out to the chamber crew for doing what they did on Saturday. The EV chargers are getting a lot more use, which is great.
Mhm.
So, the chamber has been sponsoring the EV chargers. And, the bill is going up, so that's a good thing.
So we should have a discussion about that.
No, all good.
Let me tell the public where the chargers are, just in case others are looking for them.
Yes, the chargers are right behind the complex over here, right up against the substation.
But they are in the commuter parking lot.
Yes,
Yes,
and that's all I have.
So a little story behind the EV chargers, probably a lot of people don't understand, have a understanding of them, but they were purchased back in 2017 via a municipal parking rides grant. So they're 2-post dual charging stations. And we had a card reader, 2 card readers on them. And the card readers weren't functioning very well from the get-go. Sent them out for repairs, did a bunch of stuff with them. But long story short, we've had credit card charges of $760 something with $115 worth of revenue coming off them. So the service charges for the credit card readers were more expensive than the revenue we were getting. So, yeah, so we pulled the card readers off. And then had a conversation with the chamber and asked them if they would sponsor them. People come in and hopefully that they would read the sign and say, you know, sponsored by local businesses and Swanton Chamber of Commerce. And, you know, after they're done charging, because they are level 2s, they're slower charging, that they would go visit our merchants and our small businesses in the community and spend some money, seeing that they got a free charge. That's the story behind it.
I knew that credit cards weren't doing us any good out there, so.
No,
Talk about downtown once more. Reminder, if people in the Merchants Row area, Wednesday morning, our street department is gonna shut the water off behind the stores, so some of the apartments upstairs might be out of water for an hour or so. In case anybody is in that area and wonders what's going on, Wednesday morning. They're gonna try to shut it down about 7 and put a new shut off in for the old Rexall building and put a new shut off in on our water line.
so, yeah, so the issue is that the apartments on that side, they need to do some work. And we're not able to shut them sections down individually. So when we shut it down, it's the whole block. So by shutting it down so they can do that work, we're gonna put it in a valve so we can isolate both sides down. So the next spring we'll do the other side.
Okay,
I mean, if people notice too, not to interrupt you, but if people notice that there's a lot of, during the Veterans Day weekend, we had some companies in here putting in insertion valves.
Yeah.
Because one of our biggest issues when we have a water line break, some of the old valve, we can't isolate well enough. So we put in a bunch of isolation valves to help us isolate the areas better. So now we can do our own replacement of the smaller valves. These valves are 12-inch and 6-inch isolation valves. So they function like regular valves now, but they're done without interrupting service. So they're insertion while the water's flowing, they put them in without having to shut anything down. We hope to do some more next year as well.
okay. The ARPA funds.
Yep.
Going for that.
Yeah, for next year's, yeah. This year he had it budgeted, right? You know?
No, I was planning on the ARPA funds.
Okay,
I did have it budgeted, but you had talked about using the ARPA funds for it.
that way it's Public Works.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does come out of the enterprise funds, but
Okay, good. Anything else? If not, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss the contract.
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion has been made and seconded to go into executive session to discuss contract. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, motion's carried. We are in executive session.
We will have a motion when we come out.
Yes, you can start that, Chris.
Out of. Yes. So we're out of executive session. We had some discussion and we made two decisions. And we're gonna make a motion to that point at this time. I think Adam's gonna make the first one.
I'll move that we approve the central dispatch contract for 2023 for the fire department in the amount of $20,520
And I would
with
second.
St. Albans Central Dispatch.
And I would second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. For the amount for central dispatch for the city of St. Albans. You've already had the discussion, so all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion's carried unanimously. And the next motion,
Yes. I make the motion to give the employees a 53rd week of pay in the year 2022. In light of the fact that there are 53 pay periods this year.
And I'll second.
okay, motion has been made and seconded, relative to the hours.
So it was for the vacation compensation, right?
For
Yes,
vacation
the earned
compensation with our
Time for vacation compensation.
Okay,
employees. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion's carried again unanimously. Thank you. I don't think there's anything else to be brought before this board this evening. So that being said,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
we have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second?
And a second.
And a second. So I'd like to, all those in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion's carried. Thank you very much, for your attention this evening. This meeting is adjourned.